Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Nkositalkshows, where our speakers can help you get more from your life and create concrete steps to help you get there. My name is nomsaclara. I am the founder of Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency and the founder of Ghost Talk Show. So today I have Tamia with me. Tamia, please introduce yourself to our audience, and also you can lay out your expertise and your credentials, please.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. My name is Tamia Dow, and I'm coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada. It is 5 a.m. where I am, and I'm super excited to be here today and to be with you. I am a best-selling author, award-winning filmmaker. I am a coach who loves to help people live the life of their dreams and find their God-planned life. I am also the manager of the Nkositalkshows.
Tamia for introduction. And our topic today is how to choose your battles and play to win. So, what does it mean when someone says how to choose your battles and play to win?
Thank you, Nomsa. It's an interesting topic. Choosing your battle is so important because sometimes something's worth fighting for and sometimes it's not. And you really have to be wise as a dove and figure these things out. Now, I believe that it takes you taking a second and praying about it, because here's what happens in our life. What happens to us is just a little bit, it's like 10%. And how we respond to that is 90% and most important. It is how we choose to respond. So when we're looking at battles, do we really want to fight this? Or is it worth our time and energy? The way you weigh it is, what's the end result? Always have the end in mind. Is this a battle that we need to wage today? Or is this one that we can pull back on and wait? We can wait for reinforcements. We can wait till we're better prepared for it. Or we can just let it go by the wayside because it's not worth our time or energy to invest in that. Realize battles and challenges can be a distraction from the actual goal and mission that you're heading towards. So what you have to do is you have to think, like I said, think, is this worth it? Is this worth the time, effort, and energy? If it's not, then you say, you know what? I'm gonna let that go by the wayside. You know what? Somebody says something rude or mean to you, and you're thinking, I am going to go after this person. They say things about me all the time. I'm going after them, right? And then you think, you stop for a moment. It's like the Holy Spirit, your inner intuition says, not today. Stop. Hold on. This is not the moment. Okay. And we can actually turn around and turn those lessons to good too. Instead of reacting as the other person is trying to prompt you to do, maybe be upset and angry and this kind of thing, you could actually do a counteraction and think, you know what? Maybe they're having a bad day. How would I want somebody to respond to me if I popped off and was having a bad day? Can I salvage this relationship by saying, ooh, are you okay? Or am I going to be, listen, don't talk to me like that, and this and this and this and this and this. And now you've, severed a relationship. And it may have been because someone was just off a little. And we've all had our off a little days. So think about it. Ongoing, ongoing, ongoing. This is time, Holy Spirit, the Lord is telling you, say this. Then say it in love. We're told to tell the truth in love, right? So when you're looking at picking your battles, you need to think about it, pray about it. What is going to happen at the end of this? What is the goal of what I'm going, how I'm going to react? And then choose wisely your reaction and your battle. Because the goal is to live your life fully in love, not be trashed,
Yeah.
yet not to lose relationships whether they be business, friendships and all of that, over a fast reaction to a bad moment.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tamia. I like the way you say, think about the ending. Whatever you do in life, you have to think about if you're caught in a battle, just sit down and think about the ending, because the ending, it might be nasty. So you might be caught up in something, that the battle that was never yours, because when somebody is fighting their battles and they will come to you with their battles and you don't know what's going on with their lives, and they are actually throwing out that battle to you, and you start reacting to something that was never yours in the first place. So sometimes it's fine, like the way you are saying that, think about the ending. Think about, hang on a minute, why is this person actually reacting this way? And that's what I always do when somebody comes with a reaction that I don't expect. I'm like, are you okay? I
Yes.
never react to their situation. I ask, the question I ask is, are you okay? And this person, if they keep going on, then I know that it is not me. Whatever is going on, I know it's not me. And it's time, I know that it's time for me to actually step back and let them deal with whatever they are dealing. Because it's like in business, friendship, relationship. Sometimes you might end up fighting battles, like myself before. Uh, Before I had problems of expressing myself, I would let things build in, and emotionally, I'm just gonna let it all out. But when I'm letting it all out, I'm letting it all out in the wrong way. Instead of when I'm feeling said with something, or if I had this argument with somebody. I don't have arguments with anyone, with somebody. Honestly, I don't have arguments with anyone. What I do is I listen to people, or sometimes if I go to work and I have an argument with someone, and when I come back home, instead of me expressing that, I'll keep it to myself. And then one day when I'm really, really, really angry, then I'm letting it all out, and somebody will be like, what is going on? Are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay. But I've learned that whatever is going on inside of me, I need to express it, because it's not fair for me to actually, if I'm gonna have a meeting with you, Tamia, and you to be caught up in my battle, it's not fair. So I prefer that it's okay for me to say, listen, Tamia, I'm not too good at the moment. I'm going through something.
Right.
So that you are aware with my emotion, and I don't want you feeling sorry for myself. For me, all I want you is, so how are you dealing with it, Nomsa? You're not okay. Your emotions, are you working? Are you meditation? Are you meditating? So that's what life is about. But we don't do that. So what advice would you give someone out there who is actually facing battles, and they feel that sharing their battles with someone, they will feel like a defeat, it will feel like they don't have control in their lives? What advice can you give them?
Well, actually being able to share what is going on in your life as a leader is important. And there's two reasons to it. Number one, as a leader, and I always speak to our audience as leaders. That's the way I see everyone, because we all have a huge leader in us that leads ourselves. Okay. So all of us, whether we have no one following us, we are leading ourselves. So I think it is important that as a leader, we make sure that we take care of our mental health, that we take care of us, right? As a self leader, oftentimes we play the role of so many different hats, mother or father, or caregiver, or, office worker, or best friend. And so we take on all of these different hats in our life and we take them on very seriously. because for the most part, we are all carers. We care for other people. We have love for other people. We like to serve or help other people. Quite a few of us are like that. So when it comes to taking care of ourselves, sometimes it's the last thing we do. Even if you consider yourself an introvert or someone who doesn't really spend a lot of time interacting with other people, oftentimes there's still an issue of not taking care of yourself. So I think it's very important that as leaders, we need to make a point of, number one, every single day, to get our heads straight. When we get up in the morning, we need to have a type of a ritual to dedicate ourselves and get ready for the day. And it's also something that allows our body to get used to that when you wake up in the morning. Because if you don't set a direction for your body in the morning, you allow a lot of things to come in. You are the captain of your vessel. Your vessel is your body and yourself. So as the captain of your vessel, you need to establish routines and help your body know, number one, you're in control. Help your head know, number one, you're in control. And the reason I talk about this is what a lot of us don't realize is the power of our mind. How much we really can control the atmosphere and the environment around us by our minds, whether it's what we're thinking or also the energy that we send out. When you try to figure out why some people just seem to have these amazing days, well, it's because they decide to. First thing in the morning. I always say in the morning, I love my life. And I set out for it to be an amazing day. And I pray, ask God for direction for the day. I take a moment and part of my prayer, because some people, you say prayer and they get, all prickly, and it's like a meditation or a dedication and asking, for just the guidance for the day. I choose to ask God. Some people choose to ask the universe, but the ask is still there. When you ask and then you set out the directions for your body, your vessel, and the universe that you are in, that it's going to be a great day. I love my life. And those things that you love draw energy to it. So that's how favor and grace and all of these things fall into mercy, fall into your lap, because you call it in by your attitude. So it's really about realizing you are in control of the atmosphere that you're in, regardless of what happens to you. It is you who chooses how to respond to it, how you look at it. And then once you make that decision, then you go about living with grace, realizing that what's the next step. So don't put yourself in a fury and a frenzy over what happens, which often happens. You have to take that moment and take a pause and say, Lord, why did this happen? What's the lesson I was supposed to learn? And how should I react? And then it'll come to you. Boom, because you've taken a moment and waited. I don't care whether it was a car accident that you happen to be a part of. I don't care whether somebody bumped you on the subway. I don't care, whatever it may have happened. Someone at the office, went off on you or something like that. You still have to take that moment, because you control you. And you can't make an excuse and say, I can't say, well, NOMSA made me mad, so I did da 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 da. Why did I give NOMSA my power? It should have been, NOMSA said something, and I took a deep breath and I said, why are you saying that to me? I don't understand what's going on. Can you tell me what's going on? Now NOMSA's like, when I was, yelling at her and talking, saying bad things to her and whatever, and she turned around and said, are you okay? What's going on? It just threw me off, right? But then we also model that. So by doing that, we're modeling to others. I know you heard the expression, we teach people how to treat us. So that would be an example of that. Someone comes to you wrong, however it is, whatever, even if it's a rude clerk, come on, we've all had it, right? You know, you go to the store or whatever, and you have this rude clerk that's had a bad day or whatever's going on, you know, and I always turn it around. And let me tell you, this has got me upgrades on airline flights. I turn it around. I'm like, hi, you know, I'm a smiley person, right? Like, hi, you know, how are you? You know, wow, you know, I see this line is really long. You know, you know, we're all really upset and stressed, but I just want to thank you for how calm you've been and how kind you've been. You know, I've been watching you. You don't deserve all of this that's being thrown at you. You know, I just want to let you know I'm not one of those people. I'm just here to see how we can figure out this flight. You know, see if I'll be able to get on this flight or another one. You know, can you help me out? So now this clerk has seen that I care, which I do. I've been watching her. I see her, you know, stressing and all this kind of thing. And I got a first class upgrade and got on the plane that everybody was, you know, upset about not, you know, being bumped off of. So it's all about you choosing your attitude, choosing grace, choosing kindness, and saying to yourself, if I were that other person, how would I want this person, meaning you, to respond to me? And then choose kindness in your response.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tamia. You know, in life, sometimes, you know, I agree with you when you say how you respond to the situation is where you're gonna end up, and sometimes it's very, very important to actually get to know yourself, get to know the real you, the things that you do, the things that you don't do. And which is for myself, I've learned that the hard way. Like when you say you have to have your ritual in the morning and do your rituals in the morning. And when somebody might say, what does the ritual got to do with your character? Basically, when you do your ritual, you're actually connecting yourself, you're connecting because you know we live a stressful life. We're always on the go. We're doing like when you have kids like myself, I have children, they demand my mind. My work demands my mind. So it is important sometimes to have me time. Like when you say do your ritual, it means me time. You're connecting with yourself and you are actually asking God where your path is going, the guidance, and which I do that every morning, asking for God's guidance to actually guide me where I need to go. It's nice when you actually ask for guidance, because you will know that when you pray, you're connecting yourself and with the energy, with the good energy that you're bringing into you. And that means when you actually are faced with the battles or challenges in life, you can actually step back, because not every challenge is meant for you, not every challenge you're meant to win in. So you can step back and say, okay, I realize you, but you are here now. So what is my part? What part do I need to play right now? Because a main character in the movies, they know their part. They know what they need to play, and they actually get to know the ending of that movie. So you can sit back and say, what part am I meant to play right now? And then you can actually play your part. If you are not meant to play your part, you can refuse and step back and say, no, I refuse to get involved with this battle because it's not mine. Otherwise, some battles, like you know, as a Christian, some battle comes as a distraction to actually distract you so you can go the wrong way, wrong direction. So, how do you avoid going the wrong direction and end up fighting battles that are not meant for you?
That's a good question, because as we mentioned a little bit, is that a lot of times we are fighting battles for other people. You mentioned that at the beginning, and we have to be mindful of who we surround ourselves with and what battle they're going after. That's so important, because if you do not align yourself with people who are like-minded like yourself, going the same direction as you have, with a positive attitude and direction. If you have someone who's set on destruction in their own life, I remember when I was a kid, and it used to be the way that the family fought was the family fought. So if one person got, talked about at school, or picked on at school or whatever, it was like the cousins got together and we went after that person, and then they would go get their cousins, and thank God this was before, I mean, there were gangs and people would get guns and stuff like that, but for the most part it usually was just fighting. You'd go, you're gonna tell me something or whatever, I got my family with me, and we're gonna fight, and you actually would like stage a fight between you and that other person, and your family members were actually there not to brawl, with you and the other people, but to make sure that nobody jumped on you, so you had your time in the ring with that other person, with that challenge, with that battle, and you knew you had the support of your family there. Yet here's this thing, that's a beautiful picture, right? We all see it, the families surrounding you, and you're there with your dukes up and you're ready to fight this person. What was the purpose of the battle? Why was the fight planned in the first place, right? And this is when you talk about, how do you pick your fights and what to go after, right? What was that fight planned for anyways? She told you that your hair looked crazy, or or someone said you were stupid, you want to fight over it. And as a child, in the midst of things, because these are usually teenagers, that's the most important issue. She called me a name, or she told me this, right? Or he said this, and we're gonna fight, right? Well, we're grown-ups now. So we're grown-ups now. So we cannot go and plan these schoolyard fights, with our backup and our supporters, to fight over petty things. And this is why it's so important to be mindful of the people you hang around with, because you're expected to be in that group. You're expected to be ready to cross the line and brawl with those other people over this petty issue. We need to surround ourselves with better people to help us better choose what's moving us forward. Because first and foremost, it's about us, right? What if we choose to do something with this group, we have to, oh my goodness, here's a real life horror story, okay? Here in the US, you guys saw it, and I remember you telling me the other day when I talked to you about the storming of the castle in January, story of the Capitol, actually, but we use that term, storming of the castle, because that's our modern day, Capitol. That's our, that's a big important situation. So there were people who were in that crowd, like those family members that I described, right? And their intention was just to be there for a peaceful protest, to be alongside everyone, to just, say what they believe, say what they believe. And then all of a sudden, there were the fighters in the middle that said, we're going to break the law. Okay. We're going to break the law. We're going to infiltrate. And then a lot of people, for lack of a better word, if you picture like a football game or something like that, came out of the stands. Okay. So these people who were just peaceful protesters, some of them decided, oh, they're doing it, I'm going to do it. People, we have to think about the consequences of our actions. It is an individual situation, because when these people face their charges, they're going to face it individually for the choices that they made as part of a group of people who they decided to associate themselves with, who then ended up breaking the law. And bear in mind, everybody didn't go in. So this is my point that I'm making. This is when we have to say, is this my battle? Who are these people, busting in and breaking the law? Who are these people physically beating police officers? Who are these people? That's not me. That's not me. I need to separate myself from these people. Disclosure. I was nowhere near Washington, D.C. when this happened. I'm giving you a hypothetical, okay? But the point is, association. You have to be very mindful who you associate with, what battle they're choosing to go after, and the mode by which they're choosing to fight the battle. You know, are they asking you to send a letter to your parliament member, your congressperson, or are they asking you to storm the castle? You know, we got to be mindful because we can't follow everybody. You want to support people and be there for their cause. Yet if it doesn't align with your core values and your cause and what you know to be right, then you have to separate yourself. And that's the way that you be wise in choosing who you walk alongside.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tamia. I like it when you say you actually got to think about the consequences. With my parents, I was the youngest when my parents divorced. So I used to go to school, and my siblings would just look after me, making sure that I was happy. And then you get to school, and you have all these bullies. And I watched the bullies bullying my sister for a long time, and I was in the tallest girl in the class, and I remember saying to myself, I'm not going to put up with this anymore because the teachers are not doing anything. I remember walking to the bullies, and I saying to them, you're not gonna do this to my sister anymore. And they were like, what are you going to do about it? And I was like, I am going to teach you a lesson. And they were like, but she is your older sister. And I was like, yes, she is my older sister, but my name is Nomsa. So I will teach you a lesson. And I remember even sitting the boys, letting them know that, you know what, when you actually go to someone, because the message that I was sending, I meant that message to say, you are not going to actually treat my sister like this. And I remember saying, this is my sister. This is the woman that looks after me at home when my parents are not there. She's always there for me, and she looks after me very well. And when she comes here to school, she's being bullied, and I don't like this. I don't like this. So I had to stop it, and I did. Yeah, I had to stop it. I did, because the boys, when I was talking to the girls, the boys would come and get involved, scaring me off. And I was like, no, you're not going to scare me off. I mean what I mean. If you want to, and I remember saying to them, because in Africa, when you actually, that's why, uh, like my grandparents used to say, if you hear someone gossip and you get involved in that gossip, and that person that you're talking about, they're not there to defend themselves. So when you actually decide to get involved in that battle and comment, you need to be prepared to fight the battle, because you are starting to fight. You are going to, when you decide to get involved in that battle, you have to know to defend yourself when the actually person hears that. So I've learned that from my grandmother, that when someone comes to me with a battle that is not mine, I have to say, have you spoken to this person? Go and speak to her. Or to completely say to myself, I'm not going to get involved. So I remember saying to the boys, you're not going to speak to my sister like that. And he stopped, because I meant what I said, and I knew that that was the battle that I was willing to actually to fight for my blood. And I knew that that was the battle that I was willing to actually make sure that to protect my siblings, because she's my blood. So I was actually speaking from my heart. So thank you so much for that. And with that attitude and being raised that way, that you can't get involved, I've learned that don't get yourself involved in other people's battles. When somebody is fighting, or sometimes people like your opinion, but they don't like the truth. So when somebody, I'm standing here, someone is asking me the truth and they expect me to tell what they want to hear. So I'm like, this is how things happen, or this is how things should be. So I intend not to get involved in the battles that are not mine, because it's, if something is not yours to fight, even in business, I can come to you and argue with you, Tamia, but if I know that you are speaking the truth, sometimes that's why I prefer to actually listen to someone when people are talking. I prepare to listen. As long as you're not controlling me, we're good. We're good. So I always say to people, I am free for advice. I am free for I'm an open book. If you see something that is going to build me, bring it to me. I'm willing to listen. But anything that is taking me away from my path for where God wants me to take me, or my character, I actually, I don't want to be part of it. Like I don't know if you've seen a 50 Cent's audio book that I was listening to. He's swearing a lot. I was like, please to stop swearing.
Ah, ah.
His audio is really, really good, but he's swearing a lot. And I was like, please stop swearing, because I'm enjoying this moment. You're spoiling my moment. He actually, he speaks the truth. You know, when there's someone that writes a book, when they write a book, they will tell you what you want to hear. So he's actually, when you're listening to his audio, though he's swearing, but his audio is like you are listening to the person that is actually is in front of you, because he's speaking the truth. He doesn't say that, okay, I succeed and then things went. He just say, you get the, whatever happens in life, if you succeed, know that is just the beginning for you to hustle and keep hustling and keep negotiating. The day you stop negotiating, the day you stop working hard, that will be the day where you're gonna stop actually winning. So now that I brought this up, so how do I keep fighting for the battles that are worth it for me, so I can keep winning? Because for me, it's about winning. Even when I fall, it's about winning. So how do I actually, I know we spoke about choosing the battles and stuff, but how do I actually, when it comes, like right now we're at Nkositalkshows, there's gonna be battles that we're gonna face with Nkositalkshows. How do we actually learn to actually keep winning and negotiating and winning, falling and negotiating and picking ourselves up?
Well, it's very important for us to be wise in what we're doing and what we choose to do. The winning attitude, the winning mindset is a real thing. I like to surround myself with music that pumps me up. And as soon as you said that, I thought of that song, and I can't tell you who it's by because I actually listen more to Christian music than I do to secular music. But there's a song that says, I always win, 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 no matter what.
Yeah.
And the lyric is that, I always win, 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 no matter what, and I always have that running through my head when I am putting together or thinking about going after something. And I always make sure to do my best to put everything in place to allow me to win, 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 no matter what, right? And the win, also there's an interpretation on the win. So what is a win? For example, I'm a filmmaker and I create a film from my mind. I actually write it. I get my actors, I direct the actors on what they do, and I produce the film. And then I submit the films to film festivals. And sometimes I just, put them on my film channel, but where's the win? So I say you have to define the win, right? So where's the win? The win for me is, what did I just say I just did? Okay, win number one, I wrote a script, okay? Win number two, I got together people who are willing to act in my script, in my movie, right? Win number three, I, directed it, got the people to do what they needed to do. Win number four, we completed it, so my editor and my team work together and we make a film that we can now show to somebody, right? Do we see wins there? I see wins there. Every single one of those steps is a win, right? And then we submit it to film festivals. So you submit the film festivals, and that's not an automatic in. But where's the win there? You made a product that was able to be submitted to film festivals. So whether it gets in or not, you still done, winning. You're winning, right? And then, the icing on the cake is when you win. So I've been blessed to win over 11 awards on the films that I've created and submitted to film festivals. And to me, that makes me, in my mind, a winner, right? So it's all about mindset. And I use that specific example to help you understand, because a lot of times we overlook the steps we take to get to success. We choose those wins and we say in our mind, I did this, that's a win. I did this, that's another win. I did this, and the reason why I say, you have to say I, because you're the foot soldier. You're the one out there doing what you need to do. I think we talked in another program where I talked about some of the elements of success. And I said it was important that you learn what you say you want, right? You're going after your dreams, your desires. So learn how you're supposed to do that. What are the steps I need to take to do that? Is it that I need to take a class that teaches me how to do it? Right? Do I need to go to university, online, do whatever, and then learn? And then don't just learn, because some of us have, 15, 20. I know we've also talked about this before, Nomsa, of all these journals that we took in notes from these trainings that we went to that were supposed to help us improve our life and be successful, right? We spend the weekend or a full day or whatever the time is writing down our notes, getting all excited, saying we're going to do this and do that as soon as this is over. And then we go home and reality sets in, and the notebook goes on the shelf, and it collects the dust, and the real answer to all of this stuff, because when we were there, right? When we were there, oh, that's a great revelation. That is what I am going to do on Monday. Let me write it down, put a circle around it, put big stars around it. And then, like I said, you go home, you put that book away. And now that breakthrough, that thing that you needed to change your life or to change your business or to, has been put on the shelf like so many other things in our life. So when we're going after success and we're choosing to win, we have to choose to be active in our winning. So you learn, apply what you learn, which is do. I say learn, do. And then once you've applied what you've learned, whether you were successful or failed or whatever, because like I said, I submitted to film festivals and some I didn't get in. So do I see that as a failure?
No.
Exactly. I don't see that as a failure. I see it as, you know what? That's just one no on to the next, right?
It's not about the results. It's about taking action.
Exactly. It is about taking action, because so people hear, oh, she submitted to how many film festivals? She was accepted to how many film festivals? She won awards in how many film festivals? Okay, so that's no joke, right? Because you have to create a product, right? You have to create the film. You have to write the book. You have to, build the product so that you have something. And that is a win. That is a success that you have taken that action. That's the second level. Learn, do, and then the third is to share and teach. And what I mean by share and teach is so I speak all around the world. I really love to share life lessons on success. That's what I do as a coach. I talk to you about your life, and I bring out those successes that you've forgotten about, those wins that you've forgotten about, because we are creatures, just like I said, right? Put it on the shelf. We've accomplished something, put it on the shelf. Accomplish something, next. And it accumulates dust over here on this side, right? And then we forget about it. They talk about the man who looks in the mirror and then as quick as he looks away, he forgets what he looks like, because we're so temporal in our behavior day to day. And we forget about these accomplishments, these successes, these wins that we've accomplished along the way. And we need to remind ourselves I know over the shoulder, you see, I have the poster of my book, and it's called In Celebration of You. And it's designed specifically to help us remember, to help us see the wins, the successes, and to celebrate them. Because when you look back, not as a, oh, I want to go back to that, but the reason we look back and look at it is because if you did it, then you can do it again.
Of course.
Yes. So I find that a important tool for all of us is that we remember our wins and change our perspective on what winning is. Let me tell you what winning is. It's so simple as choosing to be successful. Do it. It's a win.
Hi, Ramesh. How you doing? He's saying hello to Mia, and
Hello.
we are good. We are good. We are good. If you have any question for us, please ask any questions, or if you want to get involved to our conversation, please feel free to do so. It's all about winning the game.
Most definitely,
You
yes.
know, I was when I was listening to 50 Cent, I don't listen to his music anyway because it's too much swearing and too much boom 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 boom. So I like
Right.
I like it to calm myself. So when I was listening to his audio, you know, he's a very successful guy. And it's nice to hear from somebody not telling you things that you want to hear. He actually, on his audio at the beginning, he say, I'm going to tell you the truth, nothing but the truth. So he speak about how to actually win from negotiating, from dressing up as a person. He says, if you are going to do a business with me, when I meet you, I basically gonna have to look at you, how you're presenting yourself. Are you taking this very seriously? And the character as well. When you work with somebody, you have to actually look at the character of somebody, or if somebody is really, really serious, which is not helping you guys from Nkosi Talk Show for people who are not serious, because he's saying when somebody really, really wants to enter something and they are really, really serious, when they say this language, that means they are in actually to win it all the way, to actually win the game and succeed with you. But if somebody comes in and they're just checking it out, that means you have to drop that person. So which is not good for you guys from Nkosi Talk Show, because you guys are watching those who are not serious, which is good. It's good for me because I want to work with people who wants to win. So I was listening to his audio, and then there's a part where he talks about social media. I just laughed because that's my character, and I had to put it in the group. He says, the truth I'm gonna tell you, he says, I have 25 million people following me. So I don't pay for somebody to actually manage my social media, because I feel that is not fair. If I pay somebody, they have to portray my character. They have to speak my language based on my music and typing, which is a lie, and they're never gonna get it right. So he says, just be you, and just go on social media, post something with your character, and the people that wants to hear your language, they're gonna follow you, because
Right.
they know that every morning when they look at your social media, they're like, oh, it's Tamia, it's Nomsa. So actually I was like, I love this guy, I love his brain, I love his mind. So for somebody,
I like how you're sharing about him, because I actually I let me say, I like 50 Cents. I'll tell you why. It doesn't have to do with the language that comes out of his mouth per se, because I haven't heard that video yet. And I tell you, for me, cursing is a little off-putting.
yeah,
I think, for me, this is just me, don't get your feelings hurt if that's the way you run around and talk. Yet I believe that the language of success and professionalism doesn't have cuss words in it. You don't need to have colorful metaphors to to emphasize what you're talking about. So, but that's just me. You know, I'm a trained speaker for 30 years. You know, I'm a minister. So I know that words are powerful and the words that you use are very powerful. And I remember watching, I did some volunteering for a particular multi-level network marketing international event. And I was invited to be able to see Tony Robbins speak for, you know, as part of my package. And I was in the room and I actually was managing kind of the back door, and he began to speak, and, you know, he's, you know, this and really powerful and blah, blah, blah. And then he started throwing out cuss words. And the thing was, there was no real reason for the use of those cuss words, especially in an audience so large of professional, literally like multimillionaires were in the room. And as I mentioned, because I was in near the back door, so I saw people getting up and leaving because of his language. And I thought, I mean, I know he's got millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of followers, just like 50 Cent's got millions and millions and millions of followers. And here's the thing, his audience, his target audience, that works for, because his target audience listen to his rap music. So they're used to hearing, you know, the bleeps and bleeps on the radio and then get the album and hear the real words kind of thing. You know, I don't listen to his music. What I do listen to is, my favorite one is It's Your Birthday, right? I'm gonna party like it's your birthday. So I do listen to that one, right? But I don't think there's any cuss words in there. If there is, they bleep it out very nicely because I don't catch it. But my point is as a speaker, a presenter, or a trainer, because remember the last level was learn, do, teach, or speak. And we need to know our audience. So if your audience is a group of people who want to hear you speak like that, because that's your persona or character, then, you know, stay in character. You know, yet for the most part, if you're talking about next level people, one of my mentors says quality people is what he uses the term. Then you don't go off with cuss words. You choose very wisely the words that you use. You let people know, kind of like you were saying, that he says you come dressed to impress. You come, you know, you don't come in like we're doing Zooms now. So a lot of times, half the time, people's bottoms is their, you know, their boxers or you know, their leggings or whatever for the day, but the top is squared away, right? You know, I'm ready for this presentation and the people that see me, because we have to be serious about that, and we have to show enough respect for our audience or the person we're meeting with to show that we care enough about ourselves to show up well, right? That's respect for yourself and respect for that other person. So I hear that teaching from 50 Cent. And here's the thing, I am looking forward to, you shared a clip with us, so I'm looking forward to hearing it, because here's how I am. I can learn from anyone. I can learn something from anyone, you know, and if you are a multimillionaire, you know, an entertainer or artist or even just John Q. Citizen, you know, yet you're at the level that I want to be, then I need to be taking notes. Okay. And here's the thing, I'm not trying to be you. I'm looking at what you have done to reach your success so that I can, so I can be my authentic me at that level by learning by what you have done to get to that level.
Yeah, I wanted to stop when I watched it, because I was listening to it and I was like, I'm a Christian, I shouldn't listen to this when he was swearing. But then I'm glad that I didn't stop, actually. I'm glad that I continued listening to him, because when he talks about people, you know, like people's character. They go and meet people, and they watch the things that they do when people drink and smoking weed, and then some people, they start trying to fit in. So he spoke about that he talks about that. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, but he was involved in those kind of things before. But when he actually took his music career to the next level, he decided that he's not going to change his attitude and continue with that bad behavior. So he talks about you being you, even if when you meet people with their characters, watch that character, Don't be them. Keep portraying being you. So that's the most thing that actually caught my eye. He talks about when he actually, the people that he looks up to, and he's actually speaking the truth. The big musicians, he says this one is smoking weed, this one is doing this, and this one. He says I'm speaking the truth because these people is something that I have discussed with them, that if somebody wants me to do an audio book or write a book, it's got to be the truth. I've got to speak nothing but the truth. So he actually speak about that when you walk into the boardroom, you have to present yourself like this if you want to win. When you have a number in your head, if you don't get that number, it doesn't mean it's a defeat. That number is gonna come, but it comes with the hard work. So that's when, and then I'm listening and I'm listening and I'm listening. Then in social media, it says you have to be the one that it portrays that character. It doesn't matter, because I can hire an assistant to go and just put whatever they want to put on social media, but it's not me. So he says people that are following me, they know when I post things, they know it's me. So which is, I agree, I think that way as well, that because I've had so many people on social media saying, Nomsa, when you post, me, I just post whatever I post that comes from my mouth. Sometimes I'm sitting here, I'm listening to an audio, and then I get inspired, then I inspire somebody else. That's how I post my audio. Or sometimes I'm praying and I'm finished and I'm thanking God. I just take a picture and I put it on social media. So that is my winning for me, because this is my character. So Tamia, basically it's nearly 1 o'clock. We have to finish. If someone was watching right now, they are struggling, they get caught up with the battles that have nothing to do with them, what advice can you actually, I'm going to tell you something with my family, what I've been teaching them, which is my father raised us the same way with my siblings. So my father has passed away now. So when he actually, when we were being raised, we were being raised the same way. He never took like a side to say I'm gonna love this one more or love that one. So he actually taught us to actually, this topic, choose your battles, like my grandparents. So for me, I hold on to that and I put that in practice growing up, and I see that it is actually working for me. So this is the character that I have. So if there's anyone right now who is watching, who likes to get involved in people's battles, and sometimes you can get involved in people's battles and fight, and instead of actually watching Gossip Talk Show and getting some valuable information, what advice can you give people like that who have that character of watching other, getting involved in people's battles?
Well, the true question is, who are you? Who are you, and who do you want, or how do you want to be seen by the world?
Yeah.
Realize that people are watching you. They're always watching you. So when you back someone, we'll talk politics. Most countries have two different sides. Some have three or four or whatever, right? And you have your choice that you've chosen. Other people have chosen other choices, and people are, fighting and actually dying over the choices that they make. Bottom line is, you chose who you are and how you will show up in the world. So you have to look at, is what I'm getting ready to do true to me? Is it true to my character? Is it true to my mission in life? I look at it like this. Our life that we've been given here on earth is a gift from God. And what we do with that is our gift back to him. So we need to know that whether well, you guys have a SCTV or where CCTV, right? See everything you're doing anyways there. But I'm just saying, in reality, when you have a fear of God in your heart, he sees everything you're doing. And so therefore, as I mentioned, if your life, what you're doing with your life is a gift back to him, is what you're doing godly? If what you're doing true to your character, is what you are doing benefiting mankind? because that is what we were put here to do, is to serve one another, to live life in love, and to benefit our fellow human being, most specifically by keeping ourselves well, So what I would like to really share and leave folks with is, I think of a parable in the Bible. There's a parable in the Bible, and it's called the parable of talents. And when you spoke about 50 cents, it made me think of this, because I'll explain to you guys that I truly believe that I'm a 5, and I'll explain to you what that means very quickly. You see people like, and I'm going to speak about American people because I don't necessarily know all of the actors and stuff that are in London, but you mentioned 50 cents. You know, there is Beyonce, you know, there's her husband, there is Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey, and I can go on with entertainers. I'm focusing on entertainers with this talk. And I am focusing on entertainers because I'm a filmmaker now, so I am an entertainer. I am on that media mountain right now. Media and entertainment mountain. You, in this story, the parable of talents, and Google it and look it up, and I'll put it in the chat down there what the reference is for it. They had a leader, and he basically was the landowner, and he left them. Now, in the interpretation, that the way I interpreted it, I see it as God. Remember, I told you God gave us a gift of life, and he leaves everyone with a portion. That is a beginning, a starting point. Everybody gets one. I always say this, everybody gets one, you know, a portion. And you build that portion, you do with that portion, you steward that portion to be your gift back to God when he shows back up on your day, your last day, and you're on. This, of course, is my belief system, you guys, but listen to it as a parable, okay? So the landowner, the leader, whatever you want to call him, he says to his 3 people, he has 3 people who are following him, and he says, you know, I'm going to be gone for an undetermined amount of time, and when I'm going to leave you guys with some resources, and when I get back, I'll see how you're doing, right? So he doesn't give them direction on what to do with the resources, but he gives them resources, okay? He gives one person just one. So it gave him the basic resource, right? He gives the next person 2 resources, and he gives the last person 5 resources, okay? So the guy with the 1, he said, oh, I'm going to go bury it in the backyard because I don't want him to come back and I don't have it. You know, I don't want to waste it or use it or do anything with it because I want it to be in perfect condition when he comes back, and he buries it in the backyard. The second one says, oh, this is so great. I have 2 and I'm excited and I'm going to get to work with these 2 and I'm going to do the best that I can. And I'm going to do what, and as he does that, he builds it to 4. Okay, from what he was given. The next one, he gives 5, right? So 1, 2, 5. So he gives the person 5, and the person looks at it, he goes, well, this is pretty cool. Wow, 5. Well, I'm going to work and build this one and work and build this one and work it. And he multiplies it. He ends up with 10, right? So the master shows back up and he says I'm back. And they're all, oh, he's back. He's back. He goes to the one with the 1. He says, what have you done with the resource that I gave you? And in the Bible, they call it talent. What have you done with the talent? So use the word talent, but think about it. In the Bible, it was money. It was determined to be money, but I'm saying the actual real talent. Okay. So the ability to speak and write and, all these things that these actors are doing, right? Okay. Or footballers or whatever, because athletes do it too, right? They multiply their platform, what they've been given, the resource they've been given. So the one, the Lord looks at him, the leader looks at him, and he goes, what did you do with the resource I gave you? What did you do with the talent I gave you? What did you do with what I gave you? And he said, oh, master, I know you to be a wicked and cruel person. And I was so nervous and I was so afraid and I didn't want to lose it. I didn't want to mess it up. And I buried it in the backyard. And the master's like, you mean I gave you a resource? I gave you a talent. I gave you an ability and you buried it in the backyard? Depart from me, you wicked servant. I don't want to see you anymore. So the 1 is the one we don't want to be, right? Because the other 2 multiplied the talents that the Lord had given them, that the leader had given them, that the master had left behind. And I say, you choose 2 or 5. Don't choose one. Each one of the things that you do is a win, but you have to do something, not bury it in the backyard, folks. That is what I want to leave with you. Do something with the talent, skills, and ability that the Lord has given you, and count each successful step as a win. Yet choose the one that is true to you and honors the Lord in what you do with it.
Thank you so much, Tamia. It is very, very important because we are all talented. God gave us a talent. Everyone is talented. There is no one who is not talented. So it's up to people, individual, that you actually find out what your talent is. Like Tamia is saying, use your talent. Leave this world better than you found it, because this world was created for you and you have a purpose for you to play. There's a part for you to play that part. Movie players, they're playing their part. Speakers, they are playing their part. Coaches are playing their part. People have jobs, companies have been created. There are some people who are making sure that those companies are running by turning up at work at 9 to 4, 9 till 4, till 5 or 6 or 24 hours they work. So they are actually leaving this world better than they found it. And also, if you are creative, do something about it. Like Tamia is saying, do something about your life. Come to Nkosi Talk Show. This talk show is where we learn every day. We don't know everything, but we learn from each other. If you want to actually come and join us, you can come and join us Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. UK time, and just get involved with our talk show. If you want to actually ask questions, you can ask questions or work with our coaches. Either way, so we are here to serve you. So thank you so much, Tamia, and thank you so much to our audience who are watching us today. And live with grace, everyone. We will see you tomorrow. Remember, work hard. And I know that some people say you don't have to work hard, but guess what? People who are billionaires, they don't sleep.
Right.
7 hours or 8 hours. Yes. I've started doing that. I've been sleeping. I used to have my 8 hours, my 7 hours. Since I've started this talk show, I'm having 4 to 5 hours. Weekends, maybe Saturday, I have a lay-in until, because I'm catching up the hours. So I have a lay-in, have my me time. I'm not rushing to do anything. So you can do that yourself and create your own life. Thank you so much, guys. Live with grace and see you tomorrow.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye.